Hey there, Mike from Gear Diary here, and I have the McMillen instrument QuNeo, which is a 3D touchpad musical controller for use with PC, Mac, or the iPad. Let's take a look at some greater detail on what this thing is capable of. Okay, so as you can see, you've got an array of touchpads, and you probably won't be able to see it here, but they're slightly raised. There's pressure sensitivity to them. There's an array of 16 of them, as well as some slider things, and these are just what they look like. They're just touch sensitive, little areas, dials, all of these different things. And so this is the entirety of the instrument. So there are no physical knobs to turn or anything like that. And for some people, I know that causes concern. One end, we've got the micro USB controller, and well, that's really it. Touchpads, micro USB, and that's all. So here I have also try to plug in a micro USB. I have the iPad. Now, the QuNeo comes with a number of preloaded templates, and you can also edit your own, but it comes with a set of presets that will help you control a number of different things. Now, on my iPad 2 here, I have the Korg IMS-20 analog synthesizer instrument. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can do this while it's actually, I'm holding this so you can see as I plug in here. Yeah, and you hopefully just saw the light sweep across. There's a ton of LEDs that are in here. Okay, so now I have connected the QuNeo to the Korg analog synthesizer. And let's see if I can do this in a way that you might actually be able to see a little bit of what's going on. Probably not an awful lot, but you do have. So this just happens to be the synthesizer module that I've been working on. It's very resonant filtery with a slow VCO going through it and some sustain afterwards. So if I go ahead and hit a pad, you'll see that there are 4 different areas. I don't have any filters open for that thing to touch, but there are 3 things that you get. You do get kind of your pressure sensitivity, and this would be more useful if I had this hooked up to BeatMaker or something else like that, where you could really hear the dynamics playing out. And then you do have my filter's not wide open, so you really can't hear it. So that's kind of an illustration that by changing the level of the frequency oscillator through this knob, and again, this is just a great example of, here you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different LEDs that are in here, green, yellow, and red, as well as the 4 in there. So you notice as I play this, and as I move out towards the corner, I actually am getting a different effect. So this is one of the big things about this controller, is it actually has an XY sensitivity. So that makes it really useful. So again, there's just an awful lot you can do. And there are rotary dials will actually impact. So, enough playing around with this, but as you can see, as I do more and more with the sliders, and these are altering the filters, the resonant filters, as well as the pitch and amplitude filters, and there's even a... Well, it doesn't really go there, but the pitch wheel would actually be triggered through this. And so again, it's just important to note that what you have is essentially a little mini touchpad. It's a nice sensitive area, but you have pressure sensitivity, velocity sensitivity, as well as location. So and that's why they call this a 3D controller. It's really a lot of fun to play with. Right now I'm just playing through the analog synth in the IMS-20 from Korg. Really a much better example would have been Beatmaker 2, which I don't have. It's a $20 iPad app. It's not something that I would make tremendous use of, so I haven't gotten that yet, or to use it on some of the PC things. Now, one of the things, right now I'm using this all as a analog synthesizer controller, and it's arguable that I'd be better served using a keyboard controller. Of course, you know, the ability to manipulate these things in real time, like the Chaos Pad, is definitely valuable. The other thing where this comes in handy is obviously these things just want to be drums. You know, they want to be banged on. So that's a really great application. So in Beatmaker 2, that's a great way of using that. I played the demo on that one, and also on some of the Mac and PC apps as well. You can also use this. You can use these as transport controls for fast forward, rewind in MIDI and audio recording apps. And so to use this really as a controller. Now again, like I mentioned, some people have a bit of an issue where you're not actually using a full jog wheel or physical sliders, but really, given the amount of LED space you have there, I mean, you can really see you've got a nice, almost a smile shape pattern played out in there, so it's not really something that I worry about. This is $199 through Keith McMillen Instruments, as well as through Sweetwater Sound, and again, it's not much bigger. Just to put it into perspective, it really is about the same size as the iPad, just to put one on top of the other, about the same thickness really as well, and weighs a fair amount less than the iPad 2. So it's a nice portable thing. I could actually take this as an entire studio, just have it together and easily carried, toss it in a bag, whatever. You're able to power it through the iPad. Now there's a specific procedure, special procedure, that you would use to do that. You just kind of hold down the 4 inner pads as you plug this thing into the iPad, and it will set it into iPad mode. Now these are actually dimmer than they would be if you were plugged into a higher power source. The good thing about that is it gives you longer battery life on your iPad. It doesn't drain quite as much. I mean, you can imagine when you have all these little LEDs going, it can cause a fair amount of power drain. But with this in here, in the iPad mode specifically, you still get all the lights, a little bit lower, but not a huge deal. So, QuNeo from Keith McMillen Instruments. Look for the links in the review as well as in the description here. This is Mike from Gear Diary. Thanks for watching.